Hello, I'm RD. For your feedback for LE3, I've decided to use one of my favorite Google extension add-ons called Screencastify. So as you can see, what it does is I can record myself talking and show you, and it also shows the screen so I can flip through different tabs. It's definitely more work, but I think that the effort is well worth it as students tend to find these types of methods for feedback more personal. So please bear with me as I'm going to try to do this in one take. And if I happen to stumble through some things, I apologize. I have no script. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to model risk taking as well as, how practical and maybe positive that these types of methods for feedback can be. So here we go. I'm going to dive right in. First off, let's talk about your summative task. Um, it it demonstrates your understanding of this module very well. You've included all the major elements, which is a great job. Couple suggestions that I would have would be to actually include some of the digital tools that we talked to, or we talked about and learned throughout the course into it. And then as well, maybe put up a couple samples of these different digital tools, say like a Kahoot that you might have created. Then that might make it a little more richer. And then you could provide it to maybe your colleagues and share it with them. And then that would help them develop an understanding as well too. But all in all, it was a task well done, and I appreciate your hard work on it. Okay, let's carry on. Next was the Flipgrid. I know you weren't able to contribute to this, but I do encourage you to check out the contributions of others if you haven't. Um, I find this to be a very valuable tool that I use with my students as well. What I'll do is I'll post a question, or I'll ask them to maybe like reflect on some of our learning, and then or and there's also like the possibility for peers to respond to one another as well, kind of in which we did here. So I found this to be a valuable tool because I think that sometimes it's easier for some students to actually talk about their thoughts and give the responses orally rather than written. So this can be more it can be an effective tool to use, and it's easily accessible from any device and even cell phones. So I know you weren't able to, but if you have a chance, I encourage you to check it out. Moving right along, going to go into here. Super proud of you for being resilient and working through to figure out how to respond through the audio capture feature. My point here with this, as well as the Flipgrid, was just to get us kind of used to, these options and these features. Again, I think that this is a, useful tool for some of us to use, and they're definitely more personable. I believe. I appreciate you being resilient and figuring out, how to do it. It was great work. Um, so I want to commend you for that. One of the things that I noticed you've done a better job of at this time is you've gone back to make sure that you've responded to some questions. Some of the areas I think you might have missed, but you've done a much better job. Um, I know for the last task, you weren't able to uh, submit a response for the last task, but I know that it was late and you worked really hard to catch up. So, that's okay. But going forward, please try to make sure that you do. That's a large part of the course, and I know that many of your fellow, candidates as well as yourself, hopefully, are really enjoying the a discourse and dialogue that's occurring. I'm learning a lot, like through it as well, and I hope that you are too. So, again, great work with that. Really, really pleased that you're able to figure that out. Okay, so we're moving on to the last part that I wanted to talk about was your last task on 21st century skills. Um, so here, you it demonstrates that you really understand, what like assessment and what the 21st century skills, what we need to have going forward. I really like that you highlight, like effective thinking. Effective communication. Um, you make some very valid points. The one part that I want to talk a little bit about was your success criteria, and your developing of rubrics, based on the achievement chart. All of the all of these things are really critical, and it's great that you have a firm understanding of why that has to happen, or what the importance of it is. You're very great work there. Uh, again, it's very evident that you understand, the differences, between e-learning, environment and what you would be able to do, within a face-to-face, classroom. There are some challenges, but it's, apparent that you're starting to really notice that there are some things that can be, transferred over, and we can use a lot of the same, strategies and tools, that we use within our class, that they can, work online. It just takes a little more practice and a little more understanding and research of the available digital tools that are, available to us. Okay, so again, it was a great Ali, great summative task. Really pleased with your, involvement. I know that you weren't able to, participate every single day, but you made sure to come on and you made sure to come back, go back. So all these are, signs of a reflective practitioner and somebody that understands the value of engaging in discussions. I know you haven't been able to attend any of our virtual classrooms, but hopefully you can, as everyone that's participated has, commented that they found it very, very valuable and a positive experience. Um, but if you can't, I understand. So with that, I will say goodbye. And again, great work on this, Ali. And I look forward to finishing the course strong. Have a great night and see you later.